I became the campaign director or manager, I guess you'd call him. Ellsworth was the director, and we worked together from August of '67 until the New Hampshire primary was over in March of '68. Nixon, they called me when I was with at the camp with the family out in New Mexico, and I couldn't understand it. The line was so busy or so noisy I couldn't make out what they were saying. I didn't know that they'd offered me this job until I got back to Oklahoma and could call them on a better phone system. And I told them I couldn't take the job because I'd already planned to run for Senate against Monroney, and we'd started the campaign effort, and I didn't think I'd want to give it up to be the campaign director for Nixon. Well, we went ahead and we had an event planned down at Wewoka, and it was a lunch, and I went there to make a talk and was in the middle of a speech when the phone rang, or somebody came and told me that I was on the telephone. So I went to the phone, and it was Nixon, and he asked me to take the job, and you don't turn him down easily. So I did. I took the job and put the Senate campaign on hold, and I felt like it would cost me the campaign because beating an incumbent senator is not easy, and Monroney was no slouch. So, but we went ahead and went with the campaign for Nixon until the New Hampshire primary was over, and then I came back and went back run to the Senate race, and of course we were successful. But anyway, that's the background of my connection with Nixon. When I was serving as his campaign manager, we met many times in his apartment up there on Park Avenue in New York City to talk about staff issues and campaign events, and generally got to deal with him a lot one-on-one. And the one thing I noticed about Nixon was that he hated to make a decision. He hated detail and minutiae. It just irritated him that you have to even think about some of those things. But so we often went up there with a list of issues we needed to have settled, and came back and we hadn't got an answer for any of them, which tells me that one of the things that led up to Watergate was that he delegated a lot of authority to people around him, and some of them didn't live up to his expectations. I don't think Nixon even knew about Watergate until it was all over with. This story has no point, but
most of mine don't either.
I tell the story about being invited over to Holdenville to the FFA dinner. The FFAs have dinners generally once a year. And that time I was very busy in the office, and I came in early in the morning and missed lunch and worked right on through until I went home, and the girls and Shirley got used to this.
You were governor at this point.
I was governor. That's routine, and when I came, they knew I would be famished, and they'd get supper on the table and we'd eat, and then I'd feel more to be lived with. But I went to Holdenville, and I missed my lunch and I missed my supper, and got over there, and service was very slow. And there was this lady moving around putting water on the table, and she looked around, and I noticed there was a plate of rolls there with some butter. And I got a roll and broke it in half and buttered it, half of it, and ate it quickly, and then I ate the other half, and then it was out of butter. There's no more. There's a plate of rolls, but it was out of butter. And so this waitress came by, and I said, "Could I have some more butter, please?" And she said no. And I kind of bristled a little, but I sat there, and she kept scurrying around, and there was no food. So I said, "Look, I missed my lunch, and there's these rolls here, and I like to eat one of them, but I don't have any butter. Could I have some more butter, please?" And she said no. And I said, "Well, maybe you don't know who I am." And she said, "No, I don't." And I said, well, I'm the governor of Oklahoma. And she said, pleased to meet you, Governor. Maybe you don't know who I am. And I said, no, I guess I don't. And she said, well, I'm the girl in charge of the butter.
So the hierarchy was established.